Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. Today we have Wolverine and the X-Men. This is the animated series. Ran for one season. It's like 26 episodes in 2009, and yeah, it's I think it's the most modern, the most current X-Men related cartoon animated series that's available out there. There's so many different animated series based on the X-Men on Disney Plus right now. There's a lot to choose from. So this one is yet another reinterpretation of the most popular characters, but it does away with a bunch of them right off the bat. So this is meant to put obviously Wolverine in the forefront. It's not just X-Men Evolution or X-Men the animated series. It's Wolverine at the center. He's easily the most popular X-Man ever. Putting him in the forefront as a leader when he really doesn't want to be is kind of a nice little twist. They did make a comic book series that has no connection to this except the name that ran for like 12 issues. If you can get that, it's actually really fun. It's written by Jason Aaron, who is like the writer at Marvel right now, who's doing all the big titles, especially Avengers, and he wrote Thor for a while. And yeah, he's got some good stuff. Jason Aaron. Excuse me. Speaking of the X-Men here, because that's what we're talking about, and I don't know why that was a really bad bridge. Yeah, Wolverine is hanging out. He's about to leave the X-Men at the very beginning of the episode. Rogue is kind of ticked off at him because he's doing that. It's kind of that weird connection that they had in the X-Men movies. It wasn't. I mean, yeah, Wolverine always seems to take teenage girls under his arm, under his wing to train them how to protect themselves. He did it with Kitty. He did it with Jubilee. He did it with Rogue. It was Kitty, Rogue, then Jubilee. Whenever they encountered the X-Men. But in this, she's really kind of ticked off that he's leaving. But he doesn't even get a chance to leave when suddenly Professor Xavier and Jean are hit with a like some sort of thing that just blows their mind, and they're gone. And actually, the school gets blown up. Everybody sort of is either injured or just gone, and they pick up a year later. I'm telling you, just literally the first 5 minutes of the series of the episode. I watched 3 episodes, by the way. It's a 3-parter called Hindsight, and it kind of sets up the entire premise for the rest of the series. And that premise is that Wolverine now is really out on his own, and because of things that went wrong at the Xavier School, there's now an MDR. I don't know if they even said what MDR stands for, but MDR is like a mutant detention resource. I don't know. It's a mutant police force that captures mutants and then interrogates them for some reason, because they're different and they're powerful, and some of them are very dangerous. Because this guy's got claws coming out the back of his hands. He never stabs anybody. He never harms anybody with them. It's the horrible weight that any animated series of Wolverine has in it. It's like you got a guy with claws. He's supposed to tear stuff up, but he's kind of left just like anything that's close to humanoid is like a robot. So he can stab robots all day, but if it's a human being, he comes at them with the claws, but then punches them without the claws. So, because he can't have extreme violence, blood, and obviously not gore for something that's on Saturday morning cartoons or whatever this aired. I don't know when this aired, because it was 2009 and I wasn't really watching X-Men cartoons at the time. I grew up with the X-Men for longer than probably most of you have been alive, but for some reason, yeah, I just didn't bother following along with the modern remakes of the X-Men, because I'm more of a comic book guy. Who am I kidding? I like cartoons too, but I never watched it. So this was a little bit of a revelation. There's a few different takes on a lot of the characters. The X-Men have been disbanded, but Beast is still working out of the basement. Forge is there too, but he's not this gruff, older Native American kind of guy. He's a young kid. He's like maybe 20, but he's still the inventor, the repair guy. He does all the crazy repairs and design work that the X-Men need to keep things going. But there's no X-Men, so it's just Beast in the basement working on stuff and trying to figure out why things went wrong and why did Jean and the professor disappear with a really busted up wheelchair left behind. So it was kind of rough. And this could have been, well, by the end of the first episode, Wolverine decides we got to put the X-Men together. Duh. He goes looking for the ones who existed before, had been part of the X-Men. It's kind of is a missed opportunity to sort of grab lesser known mutants or maybe create some new ones and make them the core team, but you kind of got to stick with the ones that everybody knows and likes. And but like I said, yeah, there are plenty of cameos and appearances by tons of X-Men favorites: Domino, Bishop, Toad, Blob, of course Magneto, and there's just all sorts of different X-Men characters throughout that you'll enjoy seeing, although there's a little bit of a different take. He does end up sort of bringing on some X-Men or some mutants that you wouldn't necessarily expect, at least in previous incarnations of the cartoon. Emma Frost joins the fight as part of the good guys, even though she has historically been not one of those. But yeah, I mean, in the comics, she has taken on the hero stance for a bit, and currently. But yeah, she's classically a villain. So yeah, the quest is on. It leaves an underlying storyline as to trying to find out where Charles has gone and where Jean has gone. And the very first scene we see is like a Days of Future Past scene with Sentinels roaming the destroyed countryside and New York and whatever else. And it's yeah, so we got all sorts of elements with sort of a time travel thing, sort of. We'll see. I only watched 3 episodes, but there's humongous hints as to the future and the past and things like that. So there's like I said, the underlying mystery of where people are and what happened to them, what actually caused them to disappear, and who's responsible. But we also get old classic stories with Robert Kelly and the Mutant Registration Act and Sentinels being created, one that looks like a scorpion, and will everybody remain an X-Man? Will others join the Brotherhood? Has things irreparably changed so that maybe some X-Men are not wanting to keep with the whole Xavier's dream kind of situation? That's a big possibility. So we find that out really early on, actually, in episode 2. So yeah, it's got all the guys you recognize. Steve Bloom is back as Logan. I think he's done Logan plenty of times in animated past. Jim Ward is Charles Xavier. Nolan North is Cyclops. Fred Tatasciore, is Beast. And Kerry Walgren is Emma Frost, with so many others that you'll probably recognize the voices of. But yeah, it's an X-Men cartoon. It's one more. So yeah, it's a good fun time. I think I'm going to put it on my to watch list. I have so many that I have not caught up on, but let's add it. And I only have 23 more episodes to go. And they run about 23 minutes each. So, hey, not a bad deal. And I have a feeling that the thing is fully self-contained, I would hope. I don't know, maybe they got canceled before they could come back and do anything else. We'll have to see. If I ever get to the final episode. I still gotta watch Gargoyles from like months ago, and I really want to watch that. So, anyway, let's pick tomorrow's episode.
422.
Yeah, waiting for your voice. 422. 422. Not that. 422. Oh, all right. Well, it looks like we're going to get something that it requires a premium purchase. It's going to be the new film that came out in March, I believe. And to premium subscribers, it's actually going to become free, part of the free tier, in June. Well, we're a little bit late on it, watching it since it premiered, but we're early before it's free. We're going to be watching Raya and the Last Dragon. I've been wanting to see this for a while, but I figured I'd wait for this to bring it up, and here it is. Here we are. This is where we're at. So, all right, Raya and the Last Dragon on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye. Okay, I'm looking at it here, and it tells me that I can't even premium watch it. Like, buy the package to do it. It's just saying coming to Disney Plus June 4th. So, I can't pay for it. Or, I could find other means to watch it, but or go to the movies if it's playing somewhere. But I guess we're gonna have to skip it. That's gonna go back in the list. All right, sorry. Let's pick another number.
556.
Well, that was fast. You didn't waste any time with that number. 556. It might be in the thes. 550. All right. This is something I think that got brought up with the Fox acquisition, because this is definitely not a Disney thing right off the bat, but it is animated, and it's one of my favorite comic strips of all time. It's a classic. We're going to be watching the Peanuts movie with Snoopy and Charlie Brown, Lucy and Linus, and all those. The Peanuts movie on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. For real this time.